Vegas Nation Game Day Live, sponsored by South Point Sportsbook. Download the app at southpointsports.com.
Happy Monday, everyone. Cassie Soto here with you inside of the Las Vegas Review-Journal studio. Thanks so much for joining us here on Vegas Nation Game Day Live. We're here on a Monday because the NFL came to the decision to postpone Saturday's game between the Raiders and the Browns to today because of a COVID-19 outbreak within Cleveland's organization. Here in studio with me to help us break this all down is Raiders beat writer for the Las Vegas Review-Journal, Vinny Bonsignor. Vinny, we got to week 15 of the NFL season before the league needed to postpone any games with over 20 guys on the Browns COVID-19 list. Was there really any other decision despite, conflicting views on this matter?
It is Monday, right?
It is Monday.
There is a game to be played today, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
Let's hope they get this game in. But I think at the end of the day, it probably was in the best interest of the NFL to go ahead and postpone the game. What difference did it make for the Browns? Absolutely none, really. They get one player back. John Johnson is back off the COVID list, but they still don't have Baker Mayfield. They still don't have their second-string quarterback, Case Keenum. They also don't have a whole bunch of other players that landed on COVID-19 lists earlier this week. So it didn't make that big of a difference, but I think it was prudent for the NFL to do what they did. Yeah,
you mentioned not getting very many players back. As you said, starting quarterback Baker Mayfield did not test out. Backup quarterback Case Keenum did not test out. So we've got a guy, Nick Mullins, starting today. What can you tell us about the Browns' third-string quarterback?
Well, the only thing you do need to know about him is back in 2018, he was on the 49ers and quarterbacked the 49ers to a huge 36-3, I think, win over the Raiders. So the Raiders are very well versed in Nick Mullins, and it's just another reminder that no matter who is lining up against you, across from you, who the quarterback is, it really doesn't matter. You got to take everybody seriously. The Raiders obviously didn't when Nick Mullins quarterbacked the 49ers to a huge win over them, so that can't happen again today.
Yeah, well, going back to how the Raiders feel about this whole situation, Vinny, you spoke to Raiders owner Mark Davis on Friday after the news came out that they would be postponing this game. How did he feel about his team having to wait 2 more days to play the Browns?
Not good, and his whole point was the disruption that it was going to cause I've talked to other people in the NFL, and they didn't feel good about how the Raiders were on a bus, getting ready to go to an airport to play a game the next day. And they felt like, look, if the league was going to make this decision, it should have come well before that point. And I spent all week in Dallas last week with the big news that the Super Bowl is coming to Las Vegas. But in addition to reporting on that story, talking to everybody in the NFL, including Commissioner Goodell, there was no talk as of Wednesday or Thursday that this game was going to get moved. So to wait till the last minute, that's what really didn't sit well with the Raiders. Plus the fact that now they have 6 days to prepare for a huge game coming up against the Denver Broncos Sunday at Allegiant Stadium. So the 8 days they thought that they were going to have to prepare for that game is down to 6. They got to make a cross-country flight to Cleveland and then back. So there's a lot of disruption. And when we think about the other games that were postponed this week, both of them were in Seattle, Los Angeles. That's on the same time frame. A short flight for the Seahawks to Los Angeles. Philadelphia, Washington. You could drive from one to the other. So there's no real disruption in those cases. The one time this does happen, of all the teams that it involves, the Raiders end up getting the short end of the stick.
Yeah, well, on top of that all, it came out today, Vinny, that rookie cornerback Nate Hobbs was added to the COVID-19 list. So had this game played on Saturday, you and I were discussing maybe he didn't end up on the COVID-19 list. Now they're without him, and the rookie that's been making some big moves as of late.
Yeah, that's a huge loss. I do think because of the nature of the Cleveland Browns offense, especially with Mullins as a quarterback, they're going to be a run-heavy team today. So that takes Nate Hobbs off the field. So if there was a game that he was going to miss, this is probably it, but nevertheless, huge loss for the Raiders.
All right, well, our Vegas Nation crew covering this game had to spend a few extra days out in Cleveland because of this whole fiasco, so let's go ahead and send it out to them now.
We're out here in front of First Energy Stadium in Cleveland. Sam Gordon, Heidi Fang, and yeah, it's a little bit cold. Sam, first of all, before we get into the weather, let's talk about the rescheduling of this game, what it's meant from the fan side of things. How do you think that's gone? You guys went out, talked to some fans earlier in the week, you and Adam Hill.
Yeah, I don't think any Raiders fans were happy about it, per se, Heidi. I mean, it throws a wrench in their plans. Fans that wanted to travel to this game, you have to readjust travel plans. And from a competitive standpoint as well, I mean, I think kind of the general viewpoint was that this is going to benefit the Browns. Whether it actually does or not, it remains to be seen. But that's how it looked, and I think Raiders fans were upset about that. I know we talked to one fan who came into town here that had booked the game, booked his hotel, his travel, and all that, and then was planning on coming down here the day of the game, had everything booked, could not get out of it, and only to find out that the game got canceled. So I think that he wasn't the only one. There was a lot of fans like that. Very unfortunate situation, but it's one of those things that it's out of their control. What can you really do, right?
Yeah, what can you do? I'll tell you one thing that the Raiders will need to do is get off to a good start here in some cold weather. It is under 40 as we're looking ahead to kickoff here in Cleveland. Sam, Raiders have not fared well in cold weather situations except for the last time that they were here in Cleveland. So from your perspective, what does this weather mean to this team?
I don't think it means much. I'm not putting too much stock in it. Both teams have to play in it. Yes, Cleveland is more familiar with this kind of terrain, this kind of weather, the kind of elements that the Raiders are facing. But let's be honest about this, Heidi. The Raiders have looked awful inside at Allegiant Stadium plenty of times too. Is it the weather or is it the execution? At some point, I mean, if they lose this game, the weather will not be an excuse. I'm just putting that out there right now because, again, they've looked plenty bad at times throughout the course of the year. And they're not the team that's down 15 or 20 guys, including their top two quarterbacks. So whether or not the weather is a factor, it might be. The Raiders, this is a game, frankly, we understand what the stakes are. This is a must-win game, and they have to come out and find a way to get it done against a team that's severely handicapped by COVID-19.
Last thing is the odds makers have kind of been all around on the numbers with this one, from I think Raiders being favored at one point to now the Browns being a favorite. How do you see this one playing out from that end?
Oh, geez. I mean, I can see why the Raiders would be favored given that they're the healthier team between the two. But even without, I mean, I don't think there's a major drop-off between Baker Mayfield and Nick Mullins. And we know that the Browns can run the ball. Yes, they may be down a couple offensive linemen, but you got Nick Chubb, one of the best running backs in the league, a guy that has a chance to make special things happen, even if the blocking isn't perfect. I expect the running game to be a big part of what the Cleveland Browns do. Can the Raiders stop that? Stopping the run has been a problem all year. They're not going to have Nate Hobbs on the back end, who's also pretty good at run support as well. So they're going to have their hands full regardless of the situation, regardless if they're the healthier team. Cleveland is right in the mix for the playoffs, and this game means just as much to them as it means to the Raiders.
There you have it from Sam Gordon. I'm Heidi Fang. Now back to you in the studio.
Thanks so much, Heidi and Sam, for a Raiders social media check-in. Here is sports reporter Leandre Fox.
Now let's go ahead and take a look at some Raider Nation social media. The game was originally set for Saturday, but I don't think Vegas Nation's Adam Hill got the message. Adam went out to First Energy Stadium, the home of Baker Mayfield, and it looks miserable out there. But he should have gone in, taken a look around. Adam, the code is 6, just like the commercials. And Raider Nation was heated once postponement was on the table, but we want to show some general happiness. Take a look at this Raider decked out in all of his gear, ready to go, and Monday afternoon football. What better way to cure your case of the Mondays than with some football, other than a Raider win in that game? And Merry Christmas, Raider Nation edition. Go ahead and get your family in some silver and black for the upcoming holidays.
Awesome stuff there, Dre. Thank you so much. Vinny, the Raiders were ready to play the Browns on Saturday. We, of course, know that did not happen. But do you think that the game plan changed at all from Friday to Saturday and now to Monday?
Well, if there's one positive from all of this, at least they were able to get a little bit of an extra look at Nick Mullins.
Sure.
I'm sure they went way back to look at the tape of him. So they get a little bit of an edge there. But no, not really. For the Raiders, they have to start fast. They have to play efficient. They have to play penalty-free, no turnovers. If they could do that, they've shown they could beat anybody. Yeah. When they don't do that, they can lose to anybody. So I don't think it really changes much, but it just, again, play clean football, play efficient football, they'll give themselves a chance to win today.
And we mentioned it before we got on also, just counting this one, 4 games left. So how important is a win today? You've got today, right now, a Monday game. You've got Denver, then you've got the Colts, and then you finish it off with the Chargers. So it's the final countdown is on, Vinny.
Yeah, absolutely. And Denver losing yesterday, the Chargers not kicking field goals and losing the game on Sunday night, I believe, or Monday, whenever that was. Thursday. It was Thursday, actually. I'm losing track of days here, but it gave the Raiders an opportunity. They have an opportunity now to chase down both the Broncos, both the Chargers, and maybe even the Colts, depending on what happens between now and that game. So there's a lot to still play for, and no reason to be hanging your head, feeling sorry for yourself. I know the Raiders have lost a few games that they should have won, but they still have a great opportunity here.
All right, a big day, some Monday afternoon football. You gotta love it. Great stuff there, Vinny. Thank you so much for joining me in studio, and thank you everyone for tuning in with us here on Vegas Nation Game Day Live. For our entire Vegas Nation crew, I'm Cassie Soto. Go and enjoy the game.
Vegas Nation Game Day Live, sponsored by South Point Sportsbook. Download the app at southpointsports.com.